Welcome back to this 3-video series to learn why your previous weight loss attempts have totally failed you and what you can do completely differently to finally achieve your desired results of a slender, youthful body and really improved health and vitality. I'm so glad you're here because understanding what I'm teaching in this video series can completely change your life like it changed mine and those of my clients. In the first video, I explained some of the big reasons why most weight loss attempts fail you, and it's so frustrating, right? And in this video, you're going to learn the one big mistake most people are making that's causing them to maintain their weight and their fat storage too high. And I'll also teach you the first 2 major changes to your eating that will make a huge difference for your results and how you feel. If you follow the whole series, not only are you going to learn the secrets to eating for health and vitality and finally releasing your excess weight, but you're also going to learn how to do this in a way that sticks, a way you can sustain for a lifetime, in a way that absolutely transforms your life and your future. Specifically, you're going to learn the 7 little-known secrets to releasing your excess weight in a healthy way and a sustainable way, and getting into your slender, vital, right-sized body for good, even if everything you've tried in the past has ultimately failed you. You're going to learn what it takes to release your excess weight and keep it off, even if hunger and cravings completely derailed you in the past. And I'm going to show you how to massively increase your energy and mental clarity at the same time, and how to have real freedom, completely ending stress over food and eating. Can you imagine that? It's even better than you imagine. Today you're going to discover why what virtually everyone else is teaching you about weight loss is dead wrong, and the #1 strategy you absolutely must avoid if you want to finally be absolutely successful with your next healthy eating and weight loss journey. Bottom line, if you stick with me for the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how you can use a very clear and specific 7-part process for changing the way you eat so you can improve the health of your body, your organs, your cells, your DNA, all the various systems of your body that make you feel great or make you feel lousy. And the same 7-part process will allow you to release your excess weight in a healthy way and keep it off for the rest of your life, even if you've come to the conclusion by now that nothing works. Does that sound good? And by the way, I want to make sure that you know there's nothing for sale in this video series. I put this online because I want you to know the truth about how simple it can actually be to release your excess weight and keep it off for good and regain so much health and vitality at the same time. However, this video series is only available for a little while, so pay very close attention and watch this here now while you can. So let me just briefly introduce myself properly so you know I know what I'm talking about. My name is Dr. Ginny, and I'm a transformative eating coach and the founder of a company called Slender for Good. I specialize in helping wise women, generally in their 50s and 60s, sometimes in their 40s, and some men too, to succeed with healthy eating and weight loss and release their excess weight in a healthy and sustainable way, even if every previous attempt has completely backfired. The most important thing you need to know is that every bit of the strategies I'm sharing with you today, I use in my own life, and my clients use them to release their excess weight, and they work very, very well. If you're like me or my clients, you may be unhappy with how you look or how you feel in your body. Do you try to give up certain foods or drinks but get completely overtaken by cravings? Do you find yourself overeating or overdrinking just a lot more than you'd like? Would you say that stress over food and weight is ruining too many of your days? I know it was for me. Do you find yourself feeling more sluggish and slow, both physically and mentally? Do you forego social occasions because you're so uncomfortable with your weight? That's a terrible feeling. Are you even getting concerned about health issues related to your diet and your weight, like I was? I mean, if any of that sounds like you, you're in good company, because I had all these same problems when I was first starting out on the last weight loss journey of my life. And my clients have had the same experience, and it's so frustrating. But as I explained in the last video, if that's where you're at right now, it's not your fault. The food environment has changed in recent decades so much, and it's causing most of us to retain excess stored fat and to experience declining health. So the environment that surrounds us is leading us very much astray. But there's a much more effective, sensible way to eat. And today I'm going to teach you the first 2 big changes to completely change the game and start getting great results. You're going to love it, and I'll walk you through it in a second. But first, I need to address this big mistake that almost everybody's making when it comes to healthy eating and weight loss. It's causing virtually every diet to fail. It's the conventional wisdom that goes like this: calories in, calories out. The idea is that you increase the calories you burn through exercise, and you decrease the calories you take in as food. And according to the laws of thermodynamics, the idea is that that should cause you to lose weight. It sounds so logical, and it feels so right, that after years of studying this stuff and changing my whole approach to an effective, sensible approach that actually works, I still sometimes struggle with beliefs that come out of this myth. Calories in, calories out as a weight loss strategy doesn't work because it isn't how our bodies work. Our bodies are not machines, and they don't work in this kind of linear, mechanical way. Rather than think of your body as a machine, think of it as a complex system striving to maintain homeostasis. That's something that our bodies do very well. Our bodies are very well designed to maintain balance in our system, like making you sweat to cool you down if you get overheated. And when your calories go down and inadequate nutrition is coming in, your body slows down your metabolism. It holds on to more food coming in as fat, and it also starts sending you lots of signals to eat. This is a big reason most diets fail. I think of it like this: when we use strategies that work against our bodies work against our weight loss. Does that make sense? So calorie cutting approaches backfire pretty much every single time. Not only is it frustrating and discouraging and making you feel like a total failure, but in the end, it also tends to result in gaining even more weight. And your health keeps getting worse, and you end up more confused than ever about how to eat. It's a nightmare. To succeed with healthy weight loss and regain great youthful energy and vitality, you need to change the way you eat in a more substantive way, a transformative way. You need to change the way you eat enough to get your body and brain to cooperate with your weight loss efforts. So let me share with you the first two principles I discovered of transformative eating. And on their face, these principles probably won't sound very surprising to you, but I encourage you to pay attention anyway, because I find that most people aren't implementing these two principles fully enough to get results. I discovered the first principle of transformative eating at a deep level over a couple of years. It's definitely not all about eating less. In fact, you have to eat more. You have to eat enough highly nutritious foods to get your body to feel healthy and strong and vital. And that's part of what supports you changing your eating enough to release excess weight. And I discovered that most people aren't eating nearly enough of the nutritious, life-giving foods for their bodies to feel good. And remember, one of the problems with restricting your calories is that your body holds on to more fat, and it drives you to eat more when it perceives inadequate nutrition coming in. Which means that you have to eat enough of the highly nutritious foods to get your body to cooperate with your weight loss. So what are the foods we need to eat more of? Generally, the first category is vegetables, and the next category is fruits. Humans evolved alongside these plants, and our bodies respond in a very healthy, happy way when we eat lots of vegetables. And let's take an example of the nutrients you get when you eat strawberries. We hear about antioxidants and vitamins and minerals, and you see a bunch of those listed in this slide about strawberries. And who knows how many other compounds we aren't familiar with in a strawberry that are good for us. It's just something that is made to have all kinds of benefit for us. What I know is that I experienced, and my clients have experienced, that all kinds of long-standing health problems start to disappear when we ramp up the fruits and vegetables we eat. When it comes to eating vegetables, depending on whether you tend to eat quite a bit now or not very much, I've found that a lot of people need to increase the amount of vegetables they're eating by quite a lot, maybe by 4 times or even 10 times what you're eating now. And I know for me, at first, that was challenging. I had to get kind of committed to figuring out how to thoroughly enjoy eating plentiful vegetables. I had to treat it like a project. So first, I figured out the way to eat a very nutritious lunch full of lots of vegetables. And then I worked on breakfast and how to have 6 ounces of fruit at every breakfast. And finally, I worked on dinner, and I find most people find dinner a little more challenging, but it's absolutely figure outable. So I kept trying different things until I found that I had several very tasty and enjoyable nutritious meal options for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. I also worked on making sure my protein choices were nutritious and my fats and my whole grains at breakfast time. Once I figured out consistent breakfast, lunch, and dinner options that were nutritious and delicious to me, then this way of eating, this transformative way of eating, was starting to become a happy habit. And I started feeling a lot better, and I started releasing the excess weight. And that was rewarding enough to keep going. So I can tell you, succeeding with this step of eating plentiful, nutritious foods is critical for success with transformative eating and being able to sustain this way of eating long term and to sustain great health and vitality and weight loss results. So that's the first principle of transformative eating, and it pairs very naturally with the second principle, which is to avoid what I call chip niffles. Cravingful, highly processed, non-nutritious food-like substances that our food system is full of that cause chronic inflammation and illness and hormone dysfunction that really changes our weight set point and sets our weight up. And really, these kind of foods break our systems related to hunger and satiety and processing the fats out of our system. So they're the kinds of foods that are constantly promoted to us and seem very innocuous in a lot of ways. If you just eat a little of them, they probably would be. But they also are the kinds of foods that we don't tend to eat a little of, that we tend to eat too much of. So let's revisit the example of the strawberry and contrast the nutrients of eating a strawberry with the nutrition facts on the side of a box of strawberry pastries. I mean, all of us know we're better off eating the strawberry rather than the pastry. But the pastry is marketed to us and designed to appeal to both our taste buds and the pleasure systems in our brain. So when our hunger and satiety systems and our insulin systems, our hormone systems start to malfunction in our bodies from eating too much of those non-nutritious food-like substances, we find that our body starts to store excess fat and we start to gain excess weight and our weight set point gets higher. And then, following the principle of homeostasis, our body works to maintain that higher weight and it becomes more and more difficult to lose weight. Have you experienced this? Feeling like no matter what you do, your body just won't let go of the excess fat and the excess weight? I've been learning a lot about this, and the mechanisms for this relate a lot to disrupted hormone functioning, especially insulin. So those sweet treats and those glasses of wine and all the other highly processed foods that are so common in our diet are causing this kind of weight gain that our bodies fight to hold on to. And maybe worst of all, maybe we could live with the excess weight, but this hormone dysfunction also starts to compromise our health. And it increases chronic pain and inflammation, and it increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer, which have gotten so prevalent in our society now and were not so prevalent 60 years ago before we started eating so many highly processed foods. So when we're ready to get very different results for our health and our weight, we get very clear which so-called foods to avoid and why. And that makes a massive difference, not just for our weight, but for our health and our happiness. All because when you use an approach that works with your body stops fighting you on weight loss. I mean, imagine this. What happens if we take the idea of changing what we eat and instead of focusing on reducing calories, which just makes our body try to hold on harder, we focus on giving our body the nutrition it needs? And we focus on cutting out the non-nutritious food-like substances that cause inflammation and hormone dysregulation and illness. What if we taught people exactly how to eat to allow them to nourish their bodies really well and minimize the risk of health declines and finally solve their excess weight problem for good? What would happen? Our bodies would start responding in such a healthy, happy way to the nutrients we were giving them, wouldn't they? Because the body's getting more nutrients than ever, it's not going to slow down our metabolism and hold on to every calorie, right? As we change how we eat, our bodies get more and more healthy, and they let go of the excess weight. We feel better. We sleep better most nights. We gain so much energy. I mean, I'm jumping out of bed in the morning, excited and ready to take on the day. I haven't felt like that in years, maybe decades. No more slowed metabolism, no more cravings, no more failed weight loss attempts. and no more stress over eating and weight. It's awesome. So now you know the first 2 steps to achieving that elusive, healthy, youthful, vital, slender, right-sized body. In the 3rd video, I'm going to teach you the other 5 steps to transformative eating so you can see the whole path. Sign up for the 3 video series below if you haven't already to make sure you get access to the 3rd video when it's available. And if you're signed up for the 3 video series, you're going to get emails from me. I'm going to let you know how you can get on the phone with me and we can talk about how you can get started on your own transformative eating journey. That's where the rubber meets the road, and that's where things really start to change in your life. So make sure you're signed up for the 3 video series, and I'll see you on the 3rd video. Take care.